All right, so I saw a report today saying that S23 Ultra users are experiencing SPEN random disconnects on their new S23 Ultra. And it got me wondering. I actually saw a number of articles saying that today, and dismissed it because I was busy. But a little while ago, I decided to click on the article. I read it, and then I went to the Reddit, which is where the discussion about the actual users, made their initial posts and some comments underneath and stuff like that. Now, it stands out to me because there was only, I want to say, 2, maybe 3 people that said they had an issue with the S Pen. And I say maybe 3 because I think the third person was just somebody trolling. The first 2 explained in detail their issues, and the third person just said, "Oh yeah, I'm having what they say, mine's having trouble, or mine's giving me trouble too," and that's it. Which could have been a Samsung hater or an iPhone user or whoever, somebody just trolling. So 2, maybe 3. And how many S23 Ultras do you think Samsung has sold in these last 3 weeks? Maybe 600,000, 500,000, maybe probably more worldwide. Now, one of the users said in the thread, and I'll link it in the description, that somebody said, well, you have to manually select, always stay connected to your S Pen, because by default, Samsung, if the S Pen has not been used, I think it's in 10 or 15 minutes, Samsung will automatically basically turn the S Pen off until you click a button or click the pen or what have you. They do that to kind of save battery. Now, when you put the S Pen in the phone, it wirelessly charges it, just like you wirelessly charge your phone. And the battery, I think, will last like I said, probably 2 or 3 hours of usage, way more than you actually use it. Not many people will have their S Pen out for 3 hours at a time. So Samsung by default will turn the power off to it if it's not used in a certain amount of time. Now, that option, you have to turn on the option to always stay connected. It does use more battery, but like I said, I have mine out for 15, 20, 30 minutes at most outside of the phone. And that's just because I'm scared of losing it. So, and somebody commented that under the Reddit of the original user that posted that, and he said, "Oh yeah." Anyways, he said it was fixed, and I don't think the second user said anything. Maybe they have by the time you watch this. I'll link it, so if you're interested, you can check out the Reddit thread. But that goes back to my original statement of the whole video. That's a handful of users, 2, maybe 3 out of 600,000 people. Now, obviously, there's people that may experience issues that are not on Reddit or haven't explained their issues. But what I'm trying to get at is, I believe this is user error. I do not believe there is a problem with the S Pen at all. Now, 1 or 2 maybe. And again, that goes back to the Reddit thread. However, from their complaints, it looked like it was solved after going back to the fixing the issue in settings. If you have an S23 Ultra or 22 Ultra or Note 20 or Note 10, if you go into your settings app and click, or you can do this, you could go to the settings app and in the search bar type in S Pen, or go to the settings app at the very top of the settings app. No, excuse me, I already did that. If you go to settings and then go to advanced settings, advanced features, and then select SPEN. There you'll see a whole list, a whole bunch of settings for your SPEN. I advise everybody, if you get the device, you can, whatever, but you need to go into the settings to make sure that those little things like that, where it's always connected, again, by default, that's turned off. So you need to go in there, turn always connected on, and just go through a bunch of the other settings. There's a whole bunch of settings in there. That's why, and one of the users that complained said he's not used a Samsung in years. I think he's an iPhone user that just has been with iPhone. I think he said he hadn't used, his last Samsung was like, I want to say the S7, which was what, 5-6 years ago. So that's why when some people switch from iPhone and they want to try Android, if y'all want to jump into the S23 or S23 Ultra, be my guest. But when people ask me, I recommend them getting a Pixel, just because the Pixel is the simplest, basic, easiest form of Android that's the most similar to iPhone or iOS. If you jump into a Samsung, man, there are features on features on features, stacks of setting pages and folders and setting for this, setting for that. I mean, there's just an ungodly amount, which to me is cool, but to the average user, it can get confusing. It can get intimidating for a not so tech savvy person. So that's why I always recommend a Pixel for the average user that wants to try Android. Pixel's great, awesome phone. Probably this, again, you're gonna hear me say this again, the Pixel 7 Pro, probably my absolute favorite phone of all time. It's that good. I'm just now getting used to the S23 Ultra. I'm a longtime Samsung user, but I've been using Pixel for a while, so jumping back on my Samsung, getting used to everything. Love the Samsung too. But I think, and this is what annoys me about the tech media and news outlets, is that I think they see something like this pop up where a handful of users have an issue with something, and then they immediately put it out on the internet or publish an article saying Samsung S-Pen issues or randomly disconnecting, and that's just simply not the case. I think these tech media outlets are trying to be the first to put a issue out, maybe for bragging rights, or just put it out there so they can get clicks. That's how they get paid. So it's not an issue with S-Pen. I honestly do not believe there's an issue. It's user error with the S-Pen. So if there's any potential buyers, Samsung buyers, if you're wary about this phone, it's, oh God, another issue. No, there is no issue with the S-Pen. Now, the display is another thing, and that's probably a bigger issue than the S-Pen. And I'm still keeping my eye on it. I got 2 more weeks to return this phone or not. So, kind of waiting to see what happens with that. But anyways, with the S-Pen, I can honestly tell you, I do not believe there's a problem. It has got to be user error. So please dismiss this if you see this in the news. I just simply think it's not true. And again, I will link the something I typed up just on stating the basics if I forgot anything. But I will include the Reddit thread so y'all can check it out for yourself if you would like. But don't worry, I think the S-Pen's fine. Actually, I love it. The S-Pen is great. So I will see y'all next time. Peace.